You ever notice how life loves playing tricks on us? Like the universe watches humanity being confident for 1 second and just goes, "Ah, that's cute. Let me ruin that for you." And the perfect example of this is the question: if mountains are closer to the sun, why are they colder? Oh, my friend, this question has broken so many brains, including mine, back when I was 10 and thought that climbing a tree would make me warmer. Spoiler alert, I froze my butt off and caught a nasty cold. See, the sun is a giant, flaming nuclear reactor about the size of 1.3 million Earths. It spits out energy, plasma, and radiation like a cosmic dragon with some serious anger issues. But it's also very, very far away. Like if the sun were a basketball, the Earth would be a single grain of sand about 25 meters away. So when you climb a mountain, going up even a full kilometer is so insignificant that the sun doesn't even notice you blinked. But here's the big twist, the plot point you didn't see coming. The sun is not what makes you warm. Actually, scratch that, the sun is a liar, a scammer, a Photoshop specialist. It shines brightly and looks all warm and fuzzy, but it doesn't actually heat the air directly. It beams down light like some kind of beauty influencer with a ring light, but the actual heat, nah, it lets the ground do all the hard work. Here's how it really works. The ground absorbs sunlight, then it heats up, then it releases that heat, which warms the air, which then warms you. Simple, efficient. It's like a giant induction stove powered by the planet itself. So when you're at sea level, you're basically standing on a perfectly heated floor, and you don't even have to pay the electricity bill. It's warm, it's comfy, but once you start climbing a mountain, oh boy, say goodbye to that built-in heating system. Mountains are made of things that just refuse to absorb heat. You've got rocks that are colder than your ex's apology, snow that reflects sunlight straight back to space, ice that just mocks you in your expensive jacket, and wind that whispers, "Haha, cope," and then the air thins out. I'm not talking, oh, it's a little bit airy thin. No, it becomes thin like a broke college student's wallet right before payday. The air molecules spread out, they stop bumping into each other, and suddenly your atmosphere goes from being a warm, cozy blanket to a single piece of cold toilet paper flapping in the wind. Let's talk about air pressure for a second. Normally, at sea level, the air pressure is high. Gas molecules are packed together, shoulder to shoulder, like fans at a Taylor Swift concert. They're constantly bumping into each other, generating heat and keeping the atmosphere nice and cozy. But higher up, it's like showing up to a party 5 minutes before it ends. There are only 3 people left. The music's off. Everyone's just standing around awkwardly. Nobody is bumping into anybody. The result, it's cold, deadly cold. And then there's my favorite part, the physics phenomenon that sounds illegal, but is absolutely real. Adiabatic cooling. Here's the deal. If a parcel of air rises, it expands. And when it expands, it cools down. Nobody took its heat. It's just being dramatic. Imagine the air is like, I'm rising up spiritually. Then it expands, and suddenly it's like, oh no, I have overextended myself. I am cold. It's basically the atmospheric version of stretching too hard and pulling a muscle. Picture this. You have a warm balloon filled with air. As that balloon rises, the outside pressure drops. The balloon expands, and the air inside cools down. Not because the wind sucked the heat out, but just because physics whispered, new rule. Deal with it. The exact same thing happens on mountains. They are basically factories of expanding, self-chilling air. No wonder climbers dress like walking sleeping bags, and we haven't even talked about nighttime yet. At sea level, the thick atmosphere acts like a blanket, trapping heat overnight. Cities stay warm. Roads radiate the heat they absorbed all day. The air holds onto that warmth like a cozy mug of hot chocolate. But on a mountain, the moment the sun goes home, the heat escapes upwards faster than your salary disappears during a steam sale. The sky above you becomes a massive heat vacuum cleaner. Everything freezes, including your hopes, your dreams, and your nose. Let's toss in a little more science for fun, shall we? Humidity. Moist air is great at holding on to heat. Rare. It loses heat incredibly fast, and mountains are as dry as a bag of emotional support raisins, so they get colder, faster. Then there's the greenhouse effect. Down here, we have carbon dioxide, methane, water, vaporol, those heat-trapping gases working overtime like unpaid interns, but up high. The atmosphere is so thin, it couldn't trap heat, even if you offered it a Christmas bonus. And don't forget the albedo effect. Snow reflects sunlight like a mirror with an attitude problem. Higher up means more snow, which means more reflection, which means less heat absorbed. You get the picture. You freezing. And the wind. Oh, the wind. Mountain winds don't just blow. They assault you. They are strong, icy, and unforgiving. They don't caress your face. They slap it, like a telenovela plot twist. And finally, there's space. The ultimate reminder that being closer to the sun means absolutely nothing if you untrap its heat. Space is the closest you can get to the sun, yet it's cold enough to freeze spaghetti midair. One side of an astronaut in direct sunlight can be burning hot, while the other side, in shadow, is frozen solid. Why? Because space has no air to distribute the heat. Sunlight is basically a spotlight, not a space heater. So, after all that, what's the final takeaway? Warmth isn't about your distance to the sun. Warmth is all about the ability to hold on to heat. It's just like relationships, distance doesn't really matter. What matters is whether you can keep each other warm. And mountains. They're tall, beautiful, majestic, but they are terrible at holding on to warmth. They are the emotionally unavailable boyfriends of the natural world. So, the next time someone asks you, why is it colder on a mountain if it's closer to the sun? Just smile and give them the real answer. Because being close to the light doesn't matter if you keep the heat. And that, my friends, is why climbing higher gets you closer to the sun, but farther from the warmth. Physics is wild, nature is petty, and mountains are basically giant, cold-hearted influencers that look amazing but give you nothing back. Thanks for sticking around for this little science comedy adventure. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Stay warm, stay curious, and stay subscribed.